Hello everybody, in today's video we are in Kyoto at the Tenjin Market, or Tenjin-san in Japanese, which is held on the 25th of each month at Kitano Tenmangu Shrine. I've arrived early, and although the market is advertised to start from 7 a.m, it didn't seem to get going until around 8, so we'll look around the shrine and learn a bit of history for a minute. Kitano Tenmangu is the head shrine of all the Tenmangu shrines, of which there are around 12,000 across this country, and they are all dedicated to the deity of learning, Sugawara no Michizane, or Tenjin. His tomb is at another famous Tenmangu shrine in Fukuoka Prefecture, Dazaifu Tenmangu, and the reason why he's buried all the way over there in Kyushu is because sadly that's where he was exiled to. In the late 9th century, he was a trusted advisor of the emperor and also a scholar and a poet, so he was based here in Kyoto. However, a rival clan accused him of treason, so the emperor banished him from Kyoto and sent him away to Dazaifu, where he then passed away in absolute poverty only 2 years later. Now, after his death, Kyoto was struck by several natural disasters, and there were sudden deaths within the imperial family, so they all kind of freaked out, believing this was a curse that Michizane's spirit was back for vengeance. And to appease him, they posthumously restored his rank and office and also turned him into a deity, which they called Tenjin, and enshrined him here at Kitano Tenmangu. Okay, we're just at a side entrance and we're going to check out the market from here. So this place was a bit of a maze and hard to squeeze in, but they were selling all kinds of kimono. These ones are like flea market prices. I like the silver silk on that one. And these ones are yukata, the lighter kimono type wear, usually cotton. This haori feels better quality actually, and it's hand stitched. That figures the pricing's gone up a bit. I wonder if they're steaming some red bean paste buns there. So that's the side entrance we came out of after we walked around the grounds. I like the basket in the middle. As you can see, they're still setting up a bit, and it's about 7:20 a.m. at this point. Cutlery and crockery and some urushinuri pieces, lacquerware. There's a nice big orin, singing bowl. Check out these huge candlesticks. Can you see Mount Fuji and a crane in flight? From this distance, it's kind of hard to tell, but I think it's shippoyaki. I really like those crates that the maneki neko are sitting on. And this glaze we call ruri-iro, which translates as the color of a lapis lazuli. Here's an entire Chinaware set. So the word Nippon is going right to left on the base of the cup. The top line there, which indicates it was made pre-war, so before August 1945. These look like they could be Satsuma ware, maybe for export. Look at that guy in the corner. I probably should have taken him out and inspected him. He's quite interesting. Little vintage souvenirs, including kokeshi. An ornament for the year of the goat or ram. It's made of cast iron and pretty weighty, so they make great paperweights actually. I like the design of this one. One of those scenery mini kokeshi. And this one in the owan or soup bowl will have a lid. It's quite cute, right? Another miniature, this time a Yawata horse from Hachinohe. Oh, lovely designs with the waves. I presume she was made as a souvenir for somewhere coastal. Very nice. Let's check out this stall with all the pottery and the vases. It looks like it has a lot to do with tea ceremony items. Oh, wow. I love that reclining tanuki, raccoon dog. Can you see him on the right side of the screen? And in front of him on the small boxes, there are some tanuki-shaped kogo. Okay, my eyes have now gone to that dragon picture type piece on the left. It looks like it might have been made using a mold. It's 2,000 yen. Doesn't it look like it initially had some kind of alcohol in there and maybe had a cork stopper? Vintage postcards and menko card games where you throw your card on the ground to try flip over another person's card. This says chamois leather, but it's made of deer skin rather than the usual goat or sheep. Did these things only exist in Japan? As a toddler, you'd push this along and all the wood pieces would clack and they'd make an absolute cacophony, like total racket. Mixture of transferware and hand-painted small dishes. More vintage souvenir pieces. Everything on the blue sheet, 500 yen each. Oh, okay. I recall seeing something about these pieces with the old Japanese map and how to age them. Not the bottles, but the large plates. So the Edo period ones aren't actually smooth. The outlines of the prefectures look like they've kind of got engravings around them. So this is an example here, a 19th century Edo piece. It might be difficult to see if you're watching on a small screen like a phone, but there are grooves alongside the prefecture outlines. So that's how I understand is how to date them to the Edo period. Regardless, the bottles were super nice. Vintage public phone in a random shopping basket. Some Showa retro lamps. So I only just learned about what this antique bronze fish is. It's actually a mokugyo, the wooden drums that Buddhist monks use while chanting, but apparently some of them were also made in bronze. Ceramic maneki neko, different styles. Artwork from various periods, including some woodblock prints. This one in the middle is by Katsuyuki Nijima, and the title is Kisokaido Moriyama. He created artwork of the 69 post towns along the Kiso Highway, and I think he had around 500 prints made of each, so finding a piece by him can be a bit easier than others. Some tokuri, sake decanters, and all kinds of dento kokeshi, the traditional strains. I looked up this artist as I wasn't familiar with this. He's Ko Sekiguchi and was known as an award-winning kirie artist, paper cutting art. And this is a woodblock print of his kirie art. I love it when artists can depict rain just right. I'm drawn to the jar, the pottery. It's really difficult to identify Japanese pottery, even for experts, and that which I am not. But this looks a lot like tamba-ware, also called tachikuchi-ware. They often have this dripped glaze that looks like candle wax melting. The female portrait by the famous artist Yumeji Takehisa, and it's called Yukata no Onna. The black and white print is by Kihei Sasajima, and he was the first apprentice to the famous Sosaku hanga artist Shiko Munakata. Yumeji's most well-known work, loads of tetsubin, the cast iron kettles. That's a nice hibachi or brazier. I have a friend who uses one as a plant pot cover, and it looks really good. Look at this crane-shaped lock. And a turtle. How auspicious. A 1,100 yen corner. And then that sign says Oshie. They're translating it as raised cloth picture, but the direct translation is pressed art. And as you can see, it's a three-dimensional patchwork art where shapes are covered in fabric and then pressed onto a board. Some side dishes. But ooh, these look like kutaniware, but pretty old. These bright green lidded chawan bowls, but they're only 2,000 yen. So why? Well, that's why. If you're practicing different tsunagi or naoshi techniques, then that might be a nice one to fix. Some old imari mukozuke for side dishes. But of course you can use it as a teacup or whatever you want, but originally it was for food. More bamboo. Look at how well this one is made. I personally like the round-shaped one at the back, but this is lovely too, the amount of work that's gone into it. Let's see the price. 15,000 yen. You know, buying that new is well over double that price, so that's pretty good. I bought a little mochi snack here. We had a very old maneki neko in the window. This vendor, Kobijutsu Shimizu, had some fabulous antique ceramic and glass pieces. Yay to this tiger bowl. Imari, Tora meaning tiger. Edo Koki, so latter Edo period, around late 18th century to mid 19th century, which is interesting as you do see similar cobalt blue with gold design also in early Meiji. Delightful lidded bowls. Oops, I'm speeding ahead to get the info. So it's imari, chawan, which means bowl, and Edo Chuki, so mid Edo period, early to late 18th century. These soba choco for noodle dipping broth just say Edo period. Prices will vary depending on condition, age, design, and they can be triple the price of these or even more. It just says Edo on that one with almost like a kasuri blurred pattern. Look at how sweet this one is with the birds chasing some insect. Here's one painted with a karako, which is a child from the Tang dynasty in China. And this motif represents happiness, prosperity, and longevity, and also to be blessed with many, many children. I actually really like the vase with the scissors. I wonder what brought that on. Like, what was their thinking? Like, I want to go with scissors today. Maybe they like bonsai. This one actually says Ai Kutani, so it's old Kutani ware using cobalt blue glaze. It says early Edo up to 1670. And then we've got a dish in the shape of a bird. Glass from the Meiji period, 1868 to 1912, and gold was added during the production process to get that cranberry color. That last vendor had a beautifully curated display. She was very tasteful. So much choice for antique and vintage small side dishes, and the era will vary for each of these. Check out this large bronze crane. Probably came in a pair originally. It said fragments of Jomon pottery. Could be legit, who knows? Now this looks like it could be a Kakure Kirishitan artifact, the hidden Christians. Christianity was banned from the early 17th century when the Tokugawa shogunate got into power, right up until the start of the Meiji period, so they had to worship in secret. A couple of Munakata prints on the top left. And that looks like another Kakure Kirishitan crucifix on the board. There's a Haniwa in the middle there. Gorgeous pair of guardian dogs or guardian lions. Different types of bizenware pottery, and one random black raku matcha bowl. There's a couple of red raku on both tables. Here's a geisha-san's wig, or geiko-san as the geisha are called in Kyoto. So the maiko, the apprentices, have to wear their own hair, which is set around once a week. And to maintain the set, they have to sleep on a hakomakura pillow, which are these wooden blocks. And they rest their neck to the side so their head and hair is elevated. But once you've graduated to geiko-san or geisha-san, you can have whatever hairstyle you like because you just pop on a wig like this for work. That's a handsome looking tiger. It looks to me like it could be shigaraki ware. There's a huge dobin, the clay teapot. That's a shigaraki ware. Unbelievable price reduction for these Nabeshima ware plates. 10,000 and 8,000 yen down to 1,000 each. No idea what this is, but it says horse, which would have been good to display this year. Okay, let's pause it and read it. It says, exquisite old Japanese embroidery. The old silk fabric is embroidered with gold and silver threads and pasted onto Japanese paper. So I guess washi paper. How beautiful with the crane and the wave pattern. Isekatagami, which are hand-cut stencils for dyeing textiles with. And they're made of layered washi paper stuck together with kakishibu, which is a kind of glue, and a dye made of persimmon extract. no discount. Personally, I don't ask for discounts unless I'm buying a few pieces at once or if it's a higher ticket item. Some ontayaki, ontaware from Oita Prefecture. There are 9 kilns in the region making this style of pottery, still using the exact same techniques from when they first started around 300 years ago. Sansai glaze, the tricolor glaze. Sometsuke, cobalt blue underglaze plate. It's for display rather than functional dining. Same with the extra large ontaware plate, that's also for display. Lucky God Daikokuten. These are omiki-dokkuri, sake decanters used for making offerings to Shinto altars. Here are some happi. I like the wave design on this one. What are they selling them for? 4,000 yen. It's quite cool with the chain design. This is katazome, stencil dyed. It's also aizome, which means indigo dyed. 4,000 yen. You know, if you are good at sashiko or creative, you can make mats like this one I have at home. I bought this one at a flea market. That's the back. Pretty cool. I love the colors. You can even make a patchwork boro yourself. Well, these obi belts are quite spectacular. Some more simple design for regular use here. I can see some records, and then these are all tools. I'm always on the lookout for a decent pair of ikebana scissors for myself, but I'm yet to score something I like. Apart from seeing that vase with the scissors on them, what's that about? I want real scissors. Nope, nothing in there for me. Geta ice skates. すごいですね. How cold would your feet get? So I found this photograph of some children from around 1925, all on their Geta ice skates. Look at their little feet all strapped in. So adorable. These are reinforced pieces of cloth. We call them zokin, used for cleaning. Vintage aluminium or aluminum bento boxes. Looking a little bit squished though. This piece with the 2 cranes is by Isokichi Asakura II, who was known for creating a contemporary style of kutani ware. And the one with the butterfly is Kiseto ware by Sho Kato, who was a potter from Aichi Prefecture. These will all come with the boxes when you buy them. Sometimes I get asked that in the comments, so I'm trying to respond to things within the videos now because I can't respond to everybody individually. Oribe ware braziers. It's hard to see, but it does say 5,000 yen there. 20,000 yen for that very large suzuri, the inkstone in its lacquered box. And this is bizenware and called a ningyo tokkuri when it has a figure on it like that. And it's also called heso tokkuri, heso meaning belly button because it kind of goes concave. The metal pieces at the front are hainarashi, and you use them to level out ash on a hearth or brazier. Everything in this section is 1,000 yen each. Ejiko style kokeshi, 2,800 yen. They're supposed to be babies placed in baskets for safety while their farmer parents work on the paddy fields. Mini hagoita using that oshie technique we saw earlier. Larger ejiko. Actually, the baby in the basket situation is easier to see with these dolls. Izumeko ningyo. Some tsuba, sword guards. At that price, I bet they aren't that old though. Cast iron crescent moon shaped hanging vases, traditionally hung using these monkeys like this. Loads of hashioki, chopstick rests. I'm just admiring this display, the beautiful tansu cupboards. A whole lot of incense burners, koro, and some other smaller tansu. Wonder if these came from a temple, like you'd find at the end of a beam, protruding from the side of a pillar. They also have vendors selling plants. These are kinkan, kumquats. Some stone and lava pots to make your own moss-based bonsai. Half price sale on those pots. And here are the bonsai. Look at how pretty the twist is on that one. Mini bonsai. We know that these tiny bonsai pots are tokoname ware. We saw them at the Setagaya Boroichi market. This section was less busy, so very calming, very chill. And here we are at the main torii gate, the official entrance, and ending this market visit by showing you that they also have fruit and veg. Don't these figs look really good, and only 500 yen. Well then, arigatou gozaimasu for watching today. If you're interested in checking out the Tokyo Teak shop, here is the QR code. Hope you enjoyed this market, and see you soon. Bye!